Someone once said, good conversation is food for the soul. Great conversation is what happens when a conversation flows no matter how random topics get. We are in the business of creating great conversations. Welcome. This is A Few Minutes With. Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of A Few Minutes With. I'm here once again with the lovely Susan Susan Chisholm.
Hello,
Susan,
that is me. I am okay. I'm in a little bit of pain today, but I'll be all right.
I feel like your hello, that is me is like your tagline, but I keep running over it because I don't think about that till after I'm talking over it. So
it's okay. I forgive you.
Hello, that is me. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
I'm gonna make a t-shirt that says that.
Tell you what. Let's try it again.
Okay.
Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of A Few Minutes With. Joining me tonight, as always, is the lovely Susan Chisholm. Susan, how are you?
Hello, that is me. I am well. I'm in a little bit of pain today. But how are you?
Doing okay. Doing it.
I fell at work.
It's
okay.
It's got to flow naturally.
I know it doesn't work like that. Sorry.
Well, I hate to hear that you're in pain, but I hope you're going to feel better soon.
Always, this is my remedy. Talking a lot.
Talking a lot, and as our tagline says, talking about everything.
Everything.
So, welcome everyone to tonight's A Few Minutes With episode. We have a couple of things lined up that are very, very special, very different from normal. Yeah. And I'm excited about it. But we have to start with something we've been doing here recently, Susan, because drink of the night. As you know, I've been trying new beverage alternatives because 6 weeks almost and no sodas. So
that's crazy. I could not.
I know it is. And there's still sodas over there that belong to you now. So, but yeah, so I've never had Prime.
Saved them for me.
They are for you. Because I don't drink them.
I know, you saved them for me.
Yeah, of course. That little, you see, hold on. That little fridge, hold on, I'm doing a bad job of this. That little fridge right there. That's your soda fridge.
Oh,
and this used to be my soda fridge, but now it's bereft of everything but water. So
it's okay. It works just fine.
Yeah. So this is the Tropical Punch Prime. I know the creator of this. I don't know him, but I know of him, Logan Paul, podcaster / professional wrestler. And I'm told it's good. So let's find out. Okay, yeah, that's a winner. Oh. That absolutely stays.
All right, I need to hear more.
What was that?
I need to hear more.
Oh yeah, it tastes like tropical punch. The problem with the drinks, these kinds of drinks, are that they only have the hint of, right. Even the Propel waters that have the flavors and so, which I love, I'm totally a fan of. It's the hint of flavor, right? And then the flavor is not always on point. This is tropical punch, as far as I could tell. It's it's a hydration drink, obviously, right. And it has a great taste.
Choke. I'm having...
No, that's not going to happen.
HEB Cola.
Zero everything on the back. Zero everything.
HEB Cola, support local.
All right, cool. So now... I kind of want to get right to the special event we're having tonight.
Yes.
Because we have made through our streaming / podcasting / content creation lives,
being awesome,
have met some amazing people, right?
Yes.
And along the way, there are times where we love it when we see folks do things that they're passionate about, that in many ways defines who they are. Well, on Twitter, I have a dear friend who goes by the tag writing by Erica. My friend Erica is and I hope I'm doing justice to what she did, because she's a writer. She's script writing. She, found out a few days ago she helps produce short films and so many other projects. And I hope someday down the road we can get her on the show to talk about her passion for word crafting. She reached out to me a few days ago and introduced me to something that I'd never heard of. And I want to share about that right now, because anything that I'm taught that is new is like, okay, now I want to spread the word. And so tonight we're going to feature a short film that our friend Erica is part of. I also had a chance to interact with Megan Clancy, who was one of the actors in the short film. Very, very passionate. And the project itself is the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. The Disability Film Challenge that Easterseals does gives filmmakers, both with and without disabilities, the opportunity to collaborate and tell unique stories that showcase disabilities in its many forms. The Film Challenge is a 5-day competition in which filmmakers write, produce, and complete an original 3 to 5 minute film. Filmmaking teams receive an assigned genre, along with a list of things like required props or locations, things that should be featured within the film itself. So I was very, very honored when Erica reached out and said, hey, we have this short film that's competing in this year's Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Would you promote it? And I said, would I? And Susan, what was the first thing I did after that exchange?
Immediately shared it with me. Immediately sent it to me, and said, "You've got to see this, and we need to talk about it on the show." And I was like, "Yes, I watched it because I was thinking about it. I was like, I've never really seen. I mean, obviously, I knew Easterseals, are. I've never seen or heard of anything like this film challenge, and it sounds really fantastic. I was like, oh, sure, I'll check it out. And then I was presented with their video, and it was like, yeah, this is something that the word needs to be spread out there. So definitely loved it.
Absolutely. If you look up the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge, and immediately after the show, guys, if you're connected to either Susan or I or both of us on Facebook, on our Twitter, X, whatever accounts, and of course, if you're following the show page on Facebook for A Few Minutes With, we're going to be posting what we're going to show you here tonight. We're very honored that we've been given the permission to actually broadcast the short film here on A Few Minutes With. And the hope is simply that we spread the word about this short film, first and foremost, because of its impact, but also about the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge as well, because this is something I never knew existed that has been going on year after year. And while it is a competition, and there's quite a few entries you can see on the Easterseals Disability Film Channel page, all of them are so done in the spirit of showing the full capacity of what anyone with or without a disability is capable of doing when it comes to putting together a screenplay, when it comes to producing, filming, all of the technical work that goes into a project. And I just love that they are focusing, on something that isn't a typical genre that people might think about. And so it's a very exciting thing for us. And I know that in the short conversations I've had with both Erica and Megan, you can really, really sense the passion that they have for this work. And so I don't know about you, Susan, but I'm excited that we have this opportunity to share this.
I'm really excited because after watching it, I was like, you know how you get that one song stuck in your head, and then you have to bless someone with passing on that earwig, that ear what is it called? Sure. It's an earwig. Anyway, this is something that is that same thing. It's been stuck in my head since I saw it, and I need to pass it on because I need it to be stuck in other people's heads too, in a good way. So
absolutely. Well, what better place to pass it on here than here on A Few Minutes With? So at this time, what I'd like to do is go ahead and introduce all of you to the short film Carmates, a 2024 entry into the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Let's go ahead and watch, enjoy, and then afterwards we'll discuss a little bit of what we saw. I'll give me just a moment and we will begin.
If you would have told me 6 months ago I would be living in my car with my best friend because we can't afford rent in LA, I would say, that checks out. And I know what you're thinking. Living in the car must be hard. How can two people live in harmony in such a cramped space? My ex couldn't handle sharing a one-bedroom apartment. He also had problems sharing his feelings, but that's not what this story's about. All right, nothing to see here. Just two independent ladies living their dreams. Hannah and I are soulmates. Friendmates? I don't know. Carmates? We just have a rhythm that flows naturally.
You're in my spot.
That was short-lived. I feel like I hear these horror stories about LA and how people are so fake. That's why Hannah and I are lucky. We have each other's backs, and I've never trusted anyone like her.
After the man.
I met Hannah in high school. We were both theater
That's
kids
neat.
that never really fit in. But together, we just make sense. We moved here from Boston together to follow our dreams.
Couldn't look at his face. I just I saw the same guy at the cafe.
No way that happened.
Oh, because addresses. Yeah, the book of face. The book face with place down. Yeah.
Our landlord sold our rent-controlled apartment, and the money they gave us was enough to get a new place, but our incomes combined wasn't enough to keep it.
Because I let me.
And while luck may not always be on our side, oh, I just realized I think we need an electrical outlet. I'm following my dreams in LA with my best friend. And to me, that is success.
Hi, in name Hannah. I'm purple. I'm passionate. It's I'm no food attitude. I'm afraid of life promises.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm 5'6". I have no food allergies, although I do hate mayonnaise with a dying passion. Based in Los Angeles. Oh, and I'm not afraid of live lobsters. But I don't care to look at them directly in the eye. That kind of freaks me out.
Me too.
No way, we booked it! Yay! Wow, what an incredible day. We shot our first big commercial.
I'm star.
Oh, so now all we have to do is put both of our checks together, and then when we sell our bone marrow for cash, we'll have enough to move in. Wait, is that our car? Wait! Come back! Please! No! I didn't mean it! I'm sorry, I don't think your compression belt is ugly. I think it's really greasy. Pretty.
Yeah, it's quite a project. And I love the charm of the film, and you know, just knowing so much ever went into it, you know, all for you know, the perfect opportunity to show people, you know, again, as the Easterseals Film Challenge description says, filmmakers with or without disabilities, they have the opportunity to create good work. And so I'm really excited that this is a chance for us to watch. For you and I watch it again. This is like my 4th time watching it.
Oh yeah, same. Absolutely. I showed it to some folks at work too. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we said, Susan, we'll be sharing this on our own social media as well as the social media for the show. And we'll encourage folks to watch it again. And also, if you would, guys, if you feel led, please share it.
Who likes to see an impression?
Definitely let's spread the word on this particular film. And you know, we'll see how things go as the challenge progresses. And I think down the road, Susan, we should probably you know, see about booking Erica. Megan is the lady who played Hannah in the film. And so if we could, you know, we'll have our first Hollywood actors and producers here on the show, hopefully.
It's going to be phenomenal. They're, you know, even just the small amount of time that I've interacted with Erica, usually online, she's so supportive and so just genuine human.
Yeah.
And I love her so much. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I love to support. This is a great cause too.
Absolutely. Just a wonderful spirit of positivity from Erica. And you just know that she has such passion for this craft of writing and producing. She served as a producer on the film. And yeah, it's one of those things where when I get a chance to see passion on screen or passion in a project, it's a lot of fun for me. And so I want to thank everyone that is part of the Carmates film project. We want to say thank you so much. And once again, we want to encourage you guys to do anything you can to support the project and you know, really get behind it. And we'll let you guys know how things progress and how things go. It's an awesome picture of what happens when people put their passions together and really work hard to come up with something. So big thank you to all of them. Yes.
And thank you for you know, entrusting us with sharing this. This is phenomenal. I love this project so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, there you go. That's the show.
The end.
No, but we wanted to lead with that, guys, because again, anything that we can do to spread the word on good causes is really what the show's all about. And so thank you all for letting us introduce that to all of you. Speaking of all of you, I want to say hello to the folks who are in the chat tonight. We have our friends Drew, Angie, I see Gator as well. And so we're thankful that you're here. If you are watching and you're not on the chat, feel free to join and chime in, especially because tonight we have a very, very special topic for discussion. As you know, our tagline is a podcast about everything. So week to week, you don't know what you're going to get unless you see our poster, and then you kind of have an idea. And so tonight, Susan, what are we going to focus on?
Deep thoughts.
Exactly.
So Absolutely. This is, it's phenomenal. We're asking each other some questions. We're going to kind of dive deep into some of these more things that, you know, to learn about ourselves and each other, and y'all to learn about us, because we're fantastic.
Indeed. And this could very well be a recurring topic that happens every few weeks. And so, as always, if you are here and you want to join in on the discussion, we encourage you to do so in the chat. So, I guess, Susan, we should probably just jump right to it.
Let's start. Let's go. You're going first.
Oh, okay. I see how this works. Okay, let's see. Okay. The question I'm going to pick from our list is, if you could correct any cooking failure, what would it be? If there was ever any point in your life that you cooked a meal and it was absolutely a failure, what would you redo? So I'll start, and then we'll hear from you, and we'll trade off questions. Many years ago. This would have been 93, 94. Jen and I had only been married a couple of years. And suffice it to say, we were po. We couldn't even afford the O and the R. So there were moments where it was like, oh, you know what? We're doing pretty good this week. And we would have we would have food or like buy products that normally, we wouldn't even think to do. And while this isn't the actual story, one of those things, just because it just hit me in the middle of my forehead right now thinking about it, Jenny O, the turkey brand, I don't know. I don't think they do it anymore because I've actually recently looked. But when we were doing well, we would get the loaf of Jenny O turkey that was the white meat on top and the dark meat on the bottom, and it was like compressed. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was basically a two-tier like loaf of processed turkey, obviously, and it was literally two colors, right? And we were like, we're living large because we're having Jenny O turkey loaf tonight. And that was usually, pretty good because then you would bust out the stovetop, some mashed potatoes, and life was good. But during one of those moments of feeling like, yeah, we're doing well, I'm gonna treat Jen to a nice dinner. I made some shrimp and some crab, only it was crab with a K. And along with it, I took carrots and potatoes and I boiled them, and I did a mashed potato / carrot concoction. Absolute disaster. Just an absolute disaster of a meal. And she was so sweet to like not tell me this for a couple of years that it was an absolute disaster of a meal. So given where I am now, if I could recreate that meal, it would be working with like absolutely fresh lump crab, and maybe make some crab cakes, a shrimp scampi kind of thing. Like I would totally take the idea and just do my best to, give it as many embellishments as possible and have some fun with it. So that would be mine. I still got to make up for the crab with a K.
Yeah. You said that and I was just like, oh, nah, nope.
Hey man, we were at that point.
It's true. The difference from now to then.
Yeah.
So this one is a little bit harder for me. I'm when we spoke about it earlier this week, I was telling you I was having some difficulty with some of these questions and coming up with good answers. And this one was one of the ones that I had a lot of difficulty with because I have made a lot of small cooking errors, but I have not had a lot of, or I guess I have not had any super memorable, complete and utter failures. I will say that I tend to oversalt things, or I used to tend to oversalt things, and there was more than a few times that we've had to scrap a part of our dinner because it's too salty. The one that comes to mind and is actually probably one of the funniest things that has ever happened to me in my cooking career. Cullen and I had just been dating for a few months, I think, and we were going to have Thanksgiving at his parents' house. And being me, I wanted to, impress. I wanted to participate in preparing food, and I wanted to, make a good impression in my future in-laws. Well, my mother, I love her to pieces. She gave me the recipe that she uses for her dressing, which some people call it stuffing. I don't, because I don't stuff it anywhere. It's baked on the side. It's dressing.
Got it.
So except for my face, stuff it in my face. So I called mom, got the recipe. I wrote it all down and I started cooking, and I'm cooking and I'm reading my directions and I'm like, something just doesn't seem right with this. But mom said, I double checked this measurement. She was clear about it. So I just kept going. I was like, wow, it smells right, because it's the spice, the particular spice that was in there that I was thinking was a little too much, was prominent, just like the way it is in her. She would always tell me, like Thanksgiving, I'd help her and she'd help me come smell the dressing mixture before we baked it. Just
Okay.
I guess. Needless to say, I cooked it and we brought it to the party. I kept thinking it didn't look right. So we get to the house and, cut it open and it's green. Very, very green.
Oh man.
Because of instead of 3.5 teaspoons of sage.
Oh no.
There were 3.5 tablespoons of sage. It was still delicious because it was a big old pan, but wow, I was like, I swear I know how to cook. And of course, we all had a good laugh about it because hilarious, and I'm like, and I even remember joking. I'm like, I'm trying to make a good first impression on you guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It happens. It happens. We've got some folks sharing in the chat. Gator says he made the saltiest chicken and rice one time. It was not edible. Drew says, I would say I've never had a failure, but I don't remember any. I usually try to forget them, which makes sense.
Fair point.
Yeah, and Angie shares, my first attempt to make gravy from turkey drippings was a disaster. It came out like plaster. This happened 40 years ago. It stays with you. It definitely stays with you. So yeah. Now there's happy mistakes. I don't know if you've ever had any of those, but one of the happy mistakes Jen made years and years ago. This was literally, I don't even know that we were even seeing each other yet. So this would have been more than 32 years ago. She made Kool-Aid, and I took one sip, and like my entire face just like it at the same time that it scrunched up like, oh, what the hell? It was like, I'm so happy that I know this woman, because it was the sweetest Kool-Aid I've ever had in my life, like ever. And turns out when she was growing up, she told me that her dad would have a 1/4 cup scoop in the sugar, and she knew that it was 3 of those for Kool-Aid. Well, she didn't pay attention, and she put 3 cups of sugar into the Kool-Aid, and it was glorious. It was absolutely glorious. So,
holy crap!
Yeah, I was like, I might need to marry this woman. So,
were you chewing the Kool-Aid? Because
yeah, with the stirring spoon was like standing straight up in it. So, but,
yeah, I've had a couple of happy accidents. We bought a little jar of this. It's I think it's called Just the Sauce. It's an HEB, whatever. And it's meant to be used as like you scoop a little bit of it and you put it in your so it creates the sauce. You just add water essentially. So it's like kind of like a better than bouillon type of thing, but it's like this one was like creamy truffle sauce or something like that. Also didn't pay attention. You're only supposed to use like half the jar, and I put the entire jar in.
Oh, there you go.
And I didn't add. I think I doubled the goo and halved the water, so it was basically 4 times stronger than it should have been.
Nice.
But when we tossed it with the spaghetti, it was phenomenal. And now, and we Parmesan cheese that biatch, and it was delicious.
Love it.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, Susan, I think it's your turn, and we'll go. Maybe we probably won't get through all 10, but we'll go until we decide to keep moving.
All right. Okay. Are younger people or older people happier?
Why did I know this would be the one you'd start with?
Well, you started with the one I knew you were going to start with. So
That's true.
My answer to that is yes.
So no, I want you to make a choice.
No, I am. If you are very young, you're happy until you know how the world works. And then I would say like after the age of, 50-ish, you decide you just don't give a crap anymore about, you live life how you want to live life. And so you're happier there. That's what I'm going to say that older people are happier because there's conditions to being younger. With the slight drawbacks of, you don't know how to get out of a chair at work and you fall and gork your back.
Yeah. Well, So for me, I would say that my answer, because I put some thought to this, I'm sure you did as well, but I really wanted to come up with an answer that was like one of the two, right? And really, really, upon thinking about it, I think I'm going to go with older people are happier, because I think, and again, I'm going by my own experience, right? There's no right answer to the question. When I think about my happiness as a younger person, it was often based on circumstances that I had no control over. It was, if it was a great Christmas, it wasn't because of Surge, if work went well and my schedule was what I wanted it to be and I could be off this weekend, that's because my manager decided not to make me work on a week. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my happiness as a youngster was based on what others provided or others did, or circumstances, right? I think where I feel older people are happier is because we are much more in control of what it is that makes us happy, or what we choose to do to make ourselves happy. And again, I'm not saying it's the absolute end all right answer. It's just my perspective on the question, because I like being able to create my own happiness, so to speak. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, and it kind of to piggyback on that, like you said, that you get to control, you know what makes you happy, and you get to control your exposure to that. And I was going to add on to that. I have adult money, and I can buy what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
I want Legos that look like flowers. I got Legos that look like flowers. Those orchids will never die. Unlike everything else, any other plant that darkens my doorstep, it is dead before it enters.
Oh yeah.
So
no, but that's why, and that's exactly why I have a retro fridge. So all I needed was a fridge, but nope, I needed a retro fridge, and so yeah. Again, no wrong or right answer on the question. It's just basically people's opinion. I have to share Angie's answer. She says, "I'll have to say, younger people are happiest. Getting old sucks. Youth is everything." I'm happy with getting old. I just turned 54 on Monday. I'm okay.
Yeah, you did. Happy birthday, you boy.
Well, did you see how I snuck that in? There you go. So
I was gonna make a big deal of it later on, but I guess we'll just put it in there now.
Oh, you're funny. Drew says, I think older, like retired older. Like, don't worry about hurting someone's feeling by calling them a numbnut.
I have to say, that's something that I have seen in a lot of places. You see memes and stuff like that. And one of them is like, I can't wait to get older and tell people what I really think. And just not get in trouble for it.
There's a certain amount of forgiveness that comes with that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Jen and I call it the get off my lawn phase. So, but yeah.
You need to get something like our doormat. It says hippity hoppity, get off my property. And it's a frog holding a shotgun.
Nice. There you go. All right. I think we'll have time for maybe one more question each. So I will ask the following. What 2 skills would you add to what you currently know? So given the skill set that you currently have, what are 2 skills that you would love to acquire in addition? Okay. So for me, and it has everything to do with the banana hands that I have at the end of my arms, I wish I could learn to play piano. If I could learn to play piano, I would be. It's like if I learned how to swim, you would never get me out of the water. If I learned how to play piano or keyboard, you'd never get me off of the piano or keyboard. Piano to me is, some of my absolute favorite musical style. If you think about the people that I love, many who you and I have seen together, Billy Joel, Elton John. We're going to see Barry Manilow later this year. All piano-based artists, right?
Yes.
And I just love that. Rachmaninoff is one of my absolute favorite composers. Out of all of history. So that would be one. The skill to be able to play the piano. Second skill I would really want to acquire, and you're going to laugh at me, but I'm being serious, And I don't know why I think I'm finally at an age where I think I would find this relaxing. I want to get better at fishing.
Oh,
Okay, not in video games. I'm talking
obviously.
actual fishing. I don't know why, but there's a ton of things I want to learn how to do, right? Like I still want to learn how to ride a bike, but that's a whole other story. But if it was something that I knew I could turn to as a relaxation thing, I've been watching some fishing shows. I'm just fascinated by this thing that I'm not able to do because before I didn't have the patience for it. Now I feel like I want to learn it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that though. It's funny that you're saying these things that you wanted to learn. I'm like, get your, of course I did, Reddit. I'm like, I had a piano. I had a piano in my garage up until about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
And you love fishing.
I love fishing. Actually, and that's something my mom and dad, I've been exposed to fishing since I was very young. Like when I was old enough to put my own shoes on, I could get in the boat and they would fill up a bucket of water and then catch these little, like, basically bait fish, and they would let me reach my hands in the bucket and play with the fish while they were actually fishing.
Got it.
Until I was able to hold my own fishing pole. So, and what's great about that is leading that into, I have access to someone who could take us out fishing and we could hang out and be patient and have fish.
Yeah.
I won't eat it, but we'll have it.
Right. So, I've only been fishing on two occasions with my brother. And the thing about that was we had to get up like way early. Yep. But I remember going to get the license and so forth. And the only other time that I fished, it was 3 hours off the coast of Port Aransas, deep sea fishing for tuna and snapper. And I was amazed at how well I did, given the fact that, I've never fished before like that. Fought a ling for like 30 minutes, only to find out that it was a 1/4 inch too short. So
I hate that shit.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the kind of fishing I want to do. I want to do the relaxing kind of fishing. So
yeah, I've never done deep sea fishing. So like the big, heavy poles and the deep water. Like we typically fish. Anyway, long story short, we typically fish off of channels in the bay or in Laguna Madre is usually where we go. Anyway. Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about that later.
As long as you're not making me fish in video games, I want to learn fishing. So
I'm not making you fish in anything. You fish if you want to fish.
That's a thing though. I don't get it. Like even as far back as when I just played the game Fate on Yahoo Games, fishing was part of it. I'm like, what is this? What is it about fishing? Anyway, so yeah. Ask the next question so I get over it.
Well, I haven't answered it yet. So
that's right. I'm so sorry.
Skills that I would add. Okay, so and probably everybody, many people know, I am a maker of things. And so I have a lot of skills that I have learned a little bit of. Mm-hmm. So I'm going off the basis that I don't have any knowledge of this skill that I'm going to want to be learning. I want to weld. I want to learn how to weld.
Ooh.
I have a very inexpensive welding machine, and I can never get it to make a bead. It always sticks to the metal, and I have to like yank it off really hard.
Yeah,
and I know I have to play with the settings. I have to probably watch 1,000 videos and do a lot of research. I just haven't been able to make time for that to make that happen. So yeah, I'd love to learn how to weld. And I mean, I guess with another skill, I mean, I guess I'd like to learn building, like building furniture and desks and stuff. Like I'm not talking like IKEA. Like I'm talking like sit down, design a desk, or design a storage thing, and put it from paper into real life. That's something that I love to do. And I like specifically those tabletops that are made with like petrified wood and resin. Since
Yeah.
I've already got a little bit of practice with resin, but not that heavy duty, like commercial grade stuff.
Right.
Oh, I would love to do that.
That's another TikTok rabbit hole you and I have gone down, where it's, you know, the creation of furniture out of wood and resin, bowls, you know, other sort of like, you know, yeah, it's really, really cool. Back to the fishing comment real quickly. Gator shares fishing in games is almost as relaxing as the real thing. I'm going to have to argue that, but he'd know because I'm sure he has had more experience in both than I have. And he also shared he's not great at welding, but boy, is it satisfying. So,
hit me up if you want to see the world's ugliest welds. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I don't know what to call it. The filament, I guess, that you have, that it you know, you're supposed to be able to touch it to the metal and just glide it along, and it goes. Okay, cool. But I go like this, and I get it, and I'm very lightly touching, and it pops, and it just sticks, and I'm like, okay, try again. Yeah. Somebody's like, turn up the voltage. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it melts the thing. I'm like, this is not working. There is a fine balance that I don't have.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, Drew shares that river tables are on his list, so I'll look forward to seeing what Drew comes up with. So
there you go.
That'll be cool.
Yes.
All right, Susan, I think it's your turn. We'll make this the final question of this topic.
Okay, since this one is slightly related, what is your favorite nature setting to be in? Okay. Surprise! I love being down at the beach. I like being in the water. I like being fishing area. Like if it's an area where I can go fishing if I go left, and I can go to the beach if I go right, I'm there 150% of the time. Plus on the beach, you can fly kites.
This is true, which we have done.
We have.
Absolutely. For me, I like the beach, but there's so much I cannot do because along with not riding a bike, I don't know how, I don't swim. Never learned. And you can't convince me that I can float because I'm huge. And so, beaches really aren't my favorite nature setting. I like, I really thought about this, and I thought, okay, I love foresty type environments, but the more I thought about it, the more I have to say, and you and I talked about this a few days ago because I'm hoping to be able to get back to doing it sometime. I love hiking in like mountainous areas. And I'm using that just as a, you know, because specifically Tucson, Arizona has some of the most amazing hiking trails that I've ever seen. Like, you know, I can walk a walking path, a hiking path here in the city, and it's beautiful. You know, the tree overhangs, the canopies and such are great. Everything is wonderful, but it's not the challenge of, you know, going uphill first and you know, traversing your way through levels of rock and you know, rocky trails and such that that for me was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, the heavier I got, the worse it was for me to even try because I couldn't breathe. And so as things continue to progress with my whole, you know, better health journey, my hope is to be able to get back to a point where I can comfortably hike in Arizona, because I want to see that part of the, I'm going to say the world, you know, one more time. You know, I don't know how many more trips I have in me, and I'm not trying to sound like, you know, doom and gloom, but I believe it. I know that I have one last opportunity to get myself into the kind of shape that it takes to walk a 7 to 10 mile trail that I used to be able to do. And I want to do it in Tucson, and I actually want to get back to the trail that I fell into a cactus on and couldn't finish the last 3 miles of the trail. And so, yes, that happened.
That story. I remember that story.
Yeah, it was either that or fall off the ledge. And so cactus it was. So yeah, so that for me are those kinds of sort of desert based, not desert, I don't know, it's kind of a mix, right? If we're talking Tucson, Arizona, that's what I want to get back to, because that's really where I always had the most amazing time. I used to work summers in Tucson and Tempe with my previous employer about 4 or 5 years in a row, and they'd send me out there for 4 to 8, 12 weeks sometimes, and I would just hike and hike and hike. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully doing that again in the next few months. So that would be my answer.
I love it. Oh, so well, once we get out there, let's go.
Indeed.
You have fun hiking.
Angie says, careful with snakes in Tucson.
Yes, and cactus.
Yes. They jumped out at me. Drew says Inks Lake State Park would be ideal. I will definitely add that to my list.
That's not too far away, I think.
Yeah. And then we have folks sharing. Savage says beach or springs. Gator says water is calm in the mangroves, can visibly see the fish. And Drew shared lake or river in the trees, chilling in the shade. So
yes.
Yeah. Oh, but Gator says, I guess flats would be my more direct answer. I don't think he's talking about shoes.
No.
So I'm teasing. No. I'm teasing. So
ballet flats for you.
So that is this version of Deep Thoughts. Deep Thoughts. We have a bunch of questions we didn't get to, Susan. So I think we should bring this back in a few weeks. Sure.
Heck yeah. Let's do it. I'm excited.
You okay there?
I have a hiccup. I'm sorry. Whew, falling apart.
That was amazing. There you go. All right. Well, it's time, Susan, for this week's segments. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, everybody. May I have a word? This one was a fun one. I have had to, I'm not going to exaggerate, I have had to listen to it probably 6 times to try to get the pronunciation right. Okay. It is
love this
ignominiously.
Word. Yep.
Ignominiously. So essentially, it's something that happens in, it says a shameful, dishonorable, or underhanded way. Basically, like if in a baseball game, for example, if one of every player feels embarrassed about the game because they were just so badly trounced. It says that, you can use the synonyms, discreditably, disgracefully, dishonorably. We've had a few of those. We've seen a few games, roller derby games that were ignominious.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Anyway, that is this week's word.
All right. I love it. Any word with multiple syllables and a heavy use of vowels, I'm all about. So
I had to very slow. I had to listen to it like 4 times.
Yeah. When you see it on paper, it doesn't make sense, just looking at it. And so, yeah, I get that completely. All right. Well, thank you as always, Susan, for educating us and sharing words with us. I shared with you before we came on air that I have a brain exercise app that I use called Elevate, and I'm going to be learning 3 new words a day. So I hope that that's going to help me to at least know what word you're sharing with us week to week. So I won't tell you which ones they are, so you don't pick them. So
no.
All right. Well, it's time for this week's Sack O Potatoes, where I share things with you guys that I am watching, reading, doing, whatever the case might be. And I don't know how often I've shared this on the show, but one of the things, there's 3 nights a week that my wife, Jen, and I get together, and our sole goal is to spend time together, have some dinner, and watch our shows, watch our stories, as we like to say. And so we started a new one this past Sunday. And when I tell you that I never had an issue with possibly watching it, after episode 1, I was like, I had no idea where this show was going. And the show is The Righteous Gemstones. This show is a send-up of your mega church, not just mega churches, but the mega church pastors, prosperity-based pastors and such. And It is very cleverly written. Every time I see Danny McBride in anything, I'm 8 out of 10 times I'm annoyed. There's something about him that just doesn't sit with me. But there's something about him in this show that he both writes, directs, and produces that just it hits the mark from a humor standpoint. And I've absolutely enjoyed the first 4 episodes and cannot wait till Sunday when we get back to continuing season 1 of The Righteous Gemstones. And so I got to give a big thanks to Jen, because she's the one that she doesn't make me watch certain shows, but she aggressively hints. And so this was one that had been on her list. And yeah, it's a winner. I absolutely love so far what I'm seeing in the show. And it does not pull punches. It is hugely funny, but dark as well. And so that's very much my wheelhouse when it comes to shows I enjoy. So it's not for everybody, but if you feel like checking it out, you can find it on Max. The show is The Righteous Gemstones, and it is definitely a recommend from the sack o' potatoes.
Excellent. I love it.
Indeed. Well, Susan, listen, when we're having fun, the time just flies.
It does. It flies far, far away. And fastly. I think we're getting...
Did you say fastly, or did you mean...
Fastly.
Fastly.
We can't smaller it.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, my goodness. This has been another fun episode. Before we get to our TikTok of the week, I want to make sure we say thank you one more time to our friend Erica, who she also introduced me to Megan Clancy, some of the folks that are behind the short film that we showed earlier in the episode, Carmates. Don't forget, keep an eye on our social media, both the A Few Minutes With page on Facebook and Susan and I's personal social media on both Facebook and on Twitter, X, whatever. And we will be posting the YouTube video of Carmates. Again, it is a competitor in this year's Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And it's 6 minutes of some of the most charming stuff that you'll see. And I'm really, really excited that we got a chance to broadcast it here on the show. So big thank you to them as well. And good luck to everyone that is involved with that project as they continue to compete in this short film challenge. We'll keep you guys posted as to how it goes. And hopefully down the road, we'll have them join us to say hello, and we'll get to know them a little bit. Susan, so that's my turn.
No dying. Dying's not allowed.
Where can they find you, Susan?
You can find me anywhere on the internet under @SrisirikulAssistant, right here. TikToks, Twitter X, whatever, Instagram, awesome places like that. And can I really quickly cut in and say, please don't forget what you're going to say. I'm so sorry, but I need to say this, and I know I'm biased, but if y'all don't follow Suzer Bruiser on TikTok, you are missing some pretty funny stuff. This woman does amazing things with facial expressions. Okay. So I don't know about all that.
No, seriously. So if you don't follow her on TikTok, you need to. And yeah, they're a lot of fun, Susan.
Oh, thank you. How red am I now? All right. What about you, Sergio? Where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, my goodness. For me, it's Sergio Does Sexy Potato on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter, X, whatever. It is Serge, S-E-R-G, Sexy Potato. I also hope, fingers crossed, that 2 things are going to happen hopefully soon. And Susan's not going to forgive me for doing this, but there's a pretty good chance that the podcast, A Taste of the Food Life, may be coming back. Susan and I started that project a few months ago, and we're in discussion and negotiation. So more to come soon on that, hopefully. But for myself, I am excited because I'm hoping to finally get back to streaming very, very soon on Twitch. I am excited about some games that I've been discovering over the last few days, and that I feel are going to be fun to stream. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to getting back to working hard to build a community in the Twitchiverse. So fingers crossed that I can get back to that. It's Sergio the Sexy Potato on Twitch, and hopefully that will happen very, very soon.
Yes.
I always hate landing the plane, Susan.
I couldn't tell.
Wow, not the response I was wondering.
We don't want it to end. We're having so much fun. We don't want it to end. We don't want to have to say goodbye to our friends and get back to normal life.
Exactly.
Ew.
Which for me is going to be finishing my prime. But yeah, speaking of friends, we thank you all, those of you who are in the chat. We thank you for even showing up. We love it when you let us know that you were late and all. And hey, listen, we appreciate that you're here. We really, really do. We don't say that lightly. We don't take our top 5 our top 5 fans lightly at all. Did we ever come up with a name for them?
No.
We'll keep working on that. But yeah.
No. Savage had one last time. It was like, I don't remember. I think we should call it, the Spud Squad. But
yeah, hey, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But with all sincerity, we thank you all so much for joining us continuously week to week, and we look forward to keeping this journey with you going. Outside of that, Suzer, I think we're ready to say good night. So if you would, Suzer, any final thoughts or words before we land the plane tonight?
Not for me, except for that I hope you guys have a great weekend and have fun doing whatever it is you're going to do tonight, tomorrow, and until next time.
Yeah, for you, me, and Colin, it's going to be Top Golf. So,
Top Golf!
With that in mind, one more time, thank you all so much for being with us. We really, really appreciate you. Week to week, I say it over and over, and I'll continue saying it till I can't no more. You are awesome. You're amazing. And the world's a better place because you are in it. We'll see you next week on A Few Minutes With. Good night, everybody.
Good night.